Hello there. I am just about to start the live show, but my plan is for us to watch or listen to or cry over Trump's addressing the nation on the coronavirus in a few minutes. So I just wanted to jump on and let anyone who's watching know that we're going to listen to that for like as long as we can stand it, and then I'll go into the show. So if you're here watching, thanks for being here. I'm going to check it out and see if I can get. I'm almost like terrified to listen or watch this, but I guess if we do it together, maybe I don't know. So if you're watching, please say hi. I'm going to stream his little lying little show if I can get that going. And he's supposed to talk about the coronavirus starting soon. And hopefully I will be able to do that for everybody. So if you want to listen to that for a few minutes, please definitely do that with me. And then we will chat about the insanity. So if you're here, thanks for being here. And he is supposed to have started 1 minute ago. So let me just make sure I got this straight. I'm getting him on here. Let me see. We can listen to him. Might be starting. I'm not sure. Wouldn't want to miss a word of it. Sarcasm. That was sarcasm. There's 61,000 people watching so far on here. So welcome to the show if you're here. Just waiting for Trump's addressing the nation to start. I was going to listen to that and then go from there. So if you want to say hi, please do. It says up next. Started streaming 22 minutes ago. That's not good. That means I'm on the wrong. So much for that. Let me see. I will figure this out. Okay, something's happening. Let me just turn this up. Okay, they're going to make a big thing of this. If you're watching, we're just waiting for Trump's little spiel. I doubt he'll talk very long, but then again, it's Trump. And then we'll have a live show afterwards. Hopefully, I'm just waiting for the speech, the lies to start. Sorry. The bullshit to fly. What can I say? It's the President Trump and the Coronavirus Task Force are holding a briefing. That's supposedly what it is. So bring out the popcorn and I was going to say, bring out something else and take a swig every time he lies. Sorry. They're all just standing there. Kind of. Just want to make sure it's loud enough. Oh, God, here he comes. I'm terrified. Sorry. I'm not going to commentate.
Thank you very much. We just attended a very important task force meeting on the virus that everybody is talking about all over the world, no matter where you go. That's what's on people's minds. And we are going to take care of and have been taking care of the American public and the American economy.
Sorry.
We are going to be asking tomorrow, we're seeing the Senate. We're going to be meeting with House Republicans, Mitch McConnell, everybody, and discussing a possible payroll tax cut or relief, substantial relief, very substantial relief. That's a big number. We're also going to be talking about hourly wage earners getting help so that they can be in a position where they're not going to ever miss a paycheck. Be working with companies and small companies, large companies, a lot of companies, so that they don't get penalized for something that's not their fault. It's not their fault. It's not our country's fault. This was something that we were thrown into, and we're going to handle it, and we have been handling it very well. The big decision was early when we shut down our borders. We're the first ones ever to do that. We've never done that in our country before. We would have a situation that would be a lot more dire. Also, we're going to be seeing small business administration and creating loans for small businesses. We're also working with the industries, including the airline industry, the cruise ship industry, which obviously will be hit. We're working with them very, very strongly. We want them to travel. We want people to travel to certain locations and not to other locations at this moment. Hopefully that will straighten out sooner rather than later, but we're working with the industries and in particular those two industries. We're also talking to the hotel industry. In some places actually will do well, and some places probably won't do well at all, but we're working also with the hotel industry. But the main thing is that we're taking care of the American public, and we will be taking care of the American public. And I really appreciate the professionals behind me and the professionals actually behind them in a different room. We have a tremendous team, and it's headed up by our great Vice President, Mike Pence. And I want to thank Mike because he's been working 24 hours a day, just about. He has been working very, very hard, very diligently, and very professionally. And I want to thank him. I want to thank the team. And I'll have Mike say a few words. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. We just completed today's meeting of the White House Coronavirus Task Force. We had the opportunity to brief the President today on a broad range of issues. And once again, because of the unprecedented action that President Trump took in January, suspending all travel from China, establishing travel advisories for portions of South Korea and Italy, establishing screening of all direct flights, all passengers from all airports, Italy and South Korea. We have bought a considerable amount of time, according to all the health experts, to deal with the coronavirus here in the United States. In fact, as I stand before you today, the risk of contracting the coronavirus to the American public remains low, and the risk of serious disease among the American public also remains low. That being said, the president did deploy not just a whole of government approach, but also a whole of America approach. And last week, at the president's direction, we met with leaders in industries from nursing homes to airlines, pharmaceutical companies, commercial labs, and it's had great impact. Pharmaceutical companies are already working literally around the clock on the development of therapeutics that will be medicines that can bring relief to people that contract the coronavirus. And I know how pleased the president was to learn that the commercial labs in this country, led by companies like LabCorp and Quest, have already brought a test forward and are taking that to market effective today. This week, the president's direction, will be meeting with hospital CEOs, health insurance CEOs, and all building on top of what the president will be announcing tomorrow with regard to economic relief for working Americans. We also met today in a conference call with 47 of America's governors. We were able to brief them on the latest, the progress that we've made. We were able to confirm with them that testing is now available in all state labs in every state in the country. Over 1 million tests have been distributed before the end of this week. Another 4 million tests will be distributed. But as I said before, with the deployment of the commercial labs, we literally are going to see a dramatic increase in the availability of testing, and that's all a direct result of the president's leadership. Today, in a few moments, we will outline community guidance that Dr. Birx and Dr. Fauci will be publishing. President's direction, we're going to be providing guidance about how to keep your home safe, how to keep your business safe, how to keep safe and healthy at your school, and we'll be publishing that information and speaking about that. A brief word about the Grand Princess. The Grand Princess has docked this afternoon in Oakland, California, at a commercial dock. 25 children. We were happy to learn through the screening over the last 2 days. The 25 children on the ship are all healthy. Of the people that have contracted the coronavirus, 21 in all, they are being dealt with in proper isolation, working with health authorities in California. We hope before the end of today to begin to disembark California residents to Travis Air Force Base and Miramar. We've made arrangements with Canada and the UK to take their passengers back. They'll be transported directly to the tarmac, charter flights home. And tomorrow, the remaining passengers will be transported again through very, very carefully controlled environments, buses, out to the tarmac and flown to military bases in Georgia and Texas. All the passengers will be tested, isolated as appropriate, quarantined as appropriate, and I want to express appreciation to the governor of California and his administration, the governor of Georgia, the governor of Texas for their strong cooperation with us in resolving the issues around the Grand Princess. It has been a partnership which the president directed us from the very beginning, and the process that Bob Kadlec will detail in any questions in a few moments continues to work and move forward. The remaining people on the ship, the crew itself, will push off from the dock, and they will be quarantined and observed and treated shipboard. But the president made the priority to get the Americans ashore, and we're in the process of doing that, as well as returning foreign nationals. Let me just say one other point. As the president's spoken today to congressional leadership, one of the things that I informed the president that I've been hearing from governors is the concern about hourly wage earners in this country feeling that they had to go to work even if they were ill. And the president has tasked this economic team and is working already with leaders in the Congress to make sure that that anyone feels that they are at risk of losing their job or losing a paycheck because they may contract the coronavirus. When we tell people, if you're sick, stay home, and the president has tasked the team with developing economic policies that will make it very, very clear that we're going to stand by those hardworking Americans, stand by those businesses, large and small, and make it possible for us, as the president said from the very beginning, to put the health of America first. We'll be available to take any questions on any of these topics, but Mr. President, I didn't know if you wanted to speak.
Well, I think what we will be doing is having a news conference tomorrow to talk about various things that we're doing economically. They'll be very major, including obviously the payroll tax cut. And so we'll be meeting again tomorrow afternoon. We'll be coming back from the Senate. We have a lot of very important meetings set up. And we'll have a press conference sometime after that. And we'll explain what we're doing on an economic standpoint and from an economic standpoint. But they will be very dramatic. And we have a great economy. We have a very strong economy. But this has blindsided the world. And I think we've handled it very, very well. I think they've done a great job. The people behind me have done a great job. So I will be here tomorrow afternoon to let you know about some of the economic steps we're taking, which will be major. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, have you been tested? Have you been tested?
Thank you, Mr. President. I have not been tested for the coronavirus.
As the president,
Brian, hi.
you've been in contact with people who were in proximity to somebody who had the virus.
Let me be sure and get you an answer to that. I honestly don't know the answer to the question, but we'll refer that question and we will get you an answer from the White House physician very quickly. Let me ask Dr. Fauci and Dr. Birx to come to the podium. You all and the American public will have at their fingertips very quickly guidance that this is for every American. We're working with communities like the Seattle area, like portions of California, New York, and Florida that have what we call community spread, a concentration of coronavirus cases. But we directed our team to come up with helpful recommendations for every American family, every American business and school. And if Dr. Birx and Dr. Fauci step forward, they can outline that for you.
Great, thank you. Good evening. It was good we got getting out last week, meeting with communities. We know that the real solutions to this is every American has a role in stopping the spread of the virus. And so we wanted to really put out guidance for every American and every community that was practical and common sense, but detailed in a way that everyone would know precisely what to do. The guidance will be around how to keep workplaces safe, how to keep schools safe, how to keep the home safe, and how to keep commercial businesses safe where people would eat or be present. The importance about this is we believe that communities are at the center of this. I came from a field where it was the communities that really solved our issues around HIV prevention. And so we're very much speaking to the communities and the American people about what can be done. All of this information came from a paper that Dr. Fauci provided from the Australians, first author Dalton. So you can actually look up the scientific evidence that informed each of these guidelines. But we will be providing that this evening in great detail so that every mother, father, child, son, daughter, caregiver will know precisely what to do and what to ask for.
Dr. Fauci?
Yeah. Just to reiterate what Dr. Birx said, it was as simple as that. We have been speaking about the kinds of things that would keep our citizens safe in a variety of environments. We've been speaking about on telephone calls, we've been speaking about at conferences. The CDC has been talking about this for a long time, as has Dr. Birx and I. So we thought we would put it together in a neat formed way that would be available to the general public. What Dr. Birx had mentioned is that just the other day, I got one of many, many emails where some of my colleagues that I know from Australia actually decided they were going to write a paper on it and make a number of boxes, which was exactly saying what we had been talking about. So we came up with the idea it would be very good for clarity. So why don't we just put it together, edit it a little, and put it in a way that people can look. What about the home? What about the school? What about the workplace? These are really simple, low-tech things. There's nothing in there that's complicated, but it's just stated in a way that's clear that people can understand.
I might ask the Surgeon General about the guidance you want to reflect on.
Well, one thing I want folks to know is that we have been looking at the data from around the world, and we now know more than we ever have about who is at risk. Who is at risk, and I hope you will help us communicate this to the American people, are people over the age of 60. They're much more likely to develop complications from the coronavirus and to be hospitalized from the coronavirus. The average age of death is age 80. Now, what we also want communities to know is that if you are a child or young adult, you're more likely to die from the flu if you get it than you are to die from coronavirus. So there's something about being young that is protective. We want people to be reassured by that. We want people to know that we are really focusing in on those groups that are at highest risk for complications and helping them understand how to be safe. And this new advice that's going to be coming out tomorrow is designed to keep our community safe, to help keep the most vulnerable safe. And it's important to understand that even though young people aren't at risk for dying from coronavirus, they can potentially spread that to older people in the communities and people with chronic diseases. So it's important we all take precautions, washing our hands, covering our cough, keeping our distance from people who are sick, and taking the steps that will be coming out in this new guidance to help make sure we're doing everything we know possible to keep our most vulnerable protected.
Well done. Thank you. And I'm going to, I think the Surgeon General raises a very important point. You know, my mother is 88 years young. My stepfather's about the same age. It's just a really good time. What Dr. Fauci tells us, what the experts tell us is to look after family members, loved ones who are senior citizens, particularly those who have serious underlying health conditions. All the data, Dr. Birx confirms to us that they're the most vulnerable to serious consequences if they contract the coronavirus. But the guidance that we would ask members of the media and the American public looking on, you can go to coronavirus.gov. This information will be posted tonight, and hopefully it will be useful, helpful, common sense for families, for schools, for businesses, and for commercial establishments that welcome the public in, just to create the kind of practices that we believe will mitigate the spread of the coronavirus across the country as a whole. But with regard to seniors, I might just ask Seema Verma to step up and speak about. Last week at the President's direction, we raised the standards for every nursing home in America with regard to infectious disease, and we are deploying all 8,000 of our inspectors in every state, as we told the governors today, to focus exclusively on infectious disease compliance at our nursing homes. Our hearts break for the families at the Kirkland Nursing Home in Seattle. The loss of life has been grievous, but we are sending the message out, working with our governors to make sure our nursing homes and long-term care facilities have the additional layer of protection against the spread of the coronavirus. And maybe we can.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Vice President. As he said, that's exactly where our focus is. It's around infection control. We're working with the entire healthcare industry. Today, we issued more guidance to nursing homes about really upping their screening of people that are coming into the nursing home and making sure that they're gloved and they have masks so that we can protect people that are in the nursing homes. The other thing that we're doing is, because we know that many of our senior citizens are vulnerable, we want to make sure that they know that the Medicare program is behind them and we're here to support them. We're letting our patients know that they can get a coronavirus test and that there is no cost sharing associated with that for our seniors on the Medicare program. And we're also letting them know that because of the president's leadership over a year and a half ago, he took action to actually extend more telehealth benefits to our nation's seniors. This is a very historic change that we made under the president's leadership. And so if they're sick and they're ill, they can call their doctor, they can Skype with their doctor, and Medicare will reimburse for those services. And we've also, in our conversations with governors today, we talked about having telehealth services also available in the Medicaid program.
Great. Let me invite Bob Kadlec, who is Deputy Secretary of HHS, to come forward as well to fill us in on the latest on the progress on the Grand Princess.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President.
That is dockside now and is going through a very careful process of having Americans and foreign nationals come off, and everyone will be tested.
Thank you very much, sir. And yes, we began our medical operation to basically disembark those passengers. On Saturday, we placed a medical crew on that boat to augment the physicians and nurses that were already on the ship. We basically ensured that the quarantine on the boat and isolation were being enforced, and then evaluated first the children and those who were ill, identifying anyone who is severely ill if possible. When the boat arrived on dockside today, additional medical personnel came on board, and we began an orderly disembarkation. Our intent is to basically disembark about half of the passengers on the boat today and the other half tomorrow. And everyone will be medically screened before they get off. If there's any question about their physical or health, they'll be screened again more additionally. And then they'll be transferred to one of the 4 quarantine sites in the United States: Travis Air Force Base, Miramar Naval Air Station, Lackland Air Force Base, and Dobbins Air Force Base in Georgia. The foreign passengers will be transferred. The Canadians will be taken back to Canada, and we're working with the United Kingdom to return their passengers back to the United Kingdom. but we're doing this all in cooperation with the great support of the state of California, the city of Oakland, and with the support of the Department of Defense, Department of Homeland Security, and the U.S. Coast Guard. Thank you.
And on the subject of testing, we had a very good discussion today, as I mentioned, with 47 governors, and outlined for them all of the different testing methods that are available. We have tests now in every state lab in America, but we're rapidly expanding that. And let me ask the Secretary of HHS to give us the latest on the availability of testing to the American public and at the states.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Vice President. So we continue with our strategic plan at HHS across all of the components represented by many of the leaders here, which is to diagnose, to treat, to contain, to mitigate, to research, and communicate. It's what we do in a healthcare crisis situation. One element of that is the test, which of course CDC developed in record time after getting the genetic sequence posted from China. That then was available at CDC, and from that point on, there was no individual that a public health official needed to get tested. The CDC didn't have surplus capacity to test, but we've been moving progressively to bring that test closer and closer and closer to the patient and to the bedside, and to make it as easy as possible for us to use testing, very much in line with our peer countries facing similar epidemiological circumstances. At this point, we, as many of you who were here on Saturday for the briefing know, we have over 1 million tests that have shipped from CDC and 2 private contractors that are the CDC type of test. Those are now out, and as the Vice President mentioned, every state public health lab is validated and operating those tests. In addition, hundreds of thousands of those tests are in hospitals, in private labs, in commercial labs. We now have a total of 2.1 million tests that are available, either shipped or waiting to be shipped or waiting to be ordered. We, by the end of this week, expect to be able to be producing up to 4 million tests per week in the United States. And that is on top of what the private commercial entities, the companies you know of like LabCorp or Quest, using their technology, the tests that they're getting out, which is an even better experience for the patient because those work. They are able to actually collect samples directly in doctors' offices, have a very sophisticated collection system to their labs, again, making it a very much more seamless patient experience. They're now validated and getting up and running, and that you'll see even more of that. So as I said, over the next week or so, you're just going to see a progressively better patient and physician and provider experience connected to diagnostic testing here in the United States. Thank you.
Very good. Well, let me questions in just a moment. We'll come back. With that, I want to invite the director of CDC to come forward just to give you an overview of where we are in the country with regard to cases, and then we'll take questions on any of the topics.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. We do continue to see an increased number in cases. Again, as we said we would, as time passes, we currently have over 500 cases now in the United States outside of the repatriation cases and the cases on the Diamond Princess. We now have cases in 35 states that have been reported in the District of Columbia. I want to reiterate what the Vice President said, despite what I just said here, is that at the present time, the risk to the American public does remain low. We do have several community outbreaks, which we're focusing on in the Seattle area, in the Santa Clara, California area, in Westminster, in New York, and in Florida. And these are areas that we're investigating heavily to try to understand the transmission mechanisms there and begin to help these jurisdictions begin to operationalize a series of mitigation strategies to help, again, to slow and contain the outbreak. Thank you.
Let me say just before we go to questions, coronavirus.gov. For the American public, for healthcare professionals, it is a comprehensive website. We're adding to it every day. And also, Dr. Birx, we're working very diligently to establish a single website where people can go to track all of the cases and where they're emerging. Questions, please?
Can I ask you and Secretary Mnuchin if I could? The
Yeah,
stock
please.
market, a huge slide today. And people on Wall Street now talking about the possibility of recession. Some people saying it's a better than 50-50 chance that will happen. How worried are you that will happen?
Well, let me just first say, today was an unprecedented move in the oil market. So, we saw a overnight reaction of over down 20%. And that's obviously what had a major component today on the stock market. But let me just make a couple of comments more broadly about the economy. First of all, we couldn't be more pleased that coming into the situation with the coronavirus, the U.S. has the most resilient economy in the world. You saw a very large economic jobs number last month. And we couldn't be more pleased that the president's economic programs of tax cuts, regulatory relief, and trade have put the economy in a very good position. I would also just say that I am in daily conversations with Chair Powell. We are committed, and we just had a meeting with the president and the economic team. The president is committed that whatever support we need to provide to the U.S. economy, we will use all our tools, working very closely with the regulators. The president has the bank CEOs coming in this week. We'll be talking to them about what they can do to help small businesses and companies that are impacted. So let me just again emphasize our primary focus is there are parts of the economy that are going to be impacted, especially workers that need to be at home, hardworking people who are at home under quarantine or taking care of their family. We'll be working on a program to address that. We will also be working with small businesses who need liquidity through SBA programs. We're looking at alternatives at the IRS. We have large tax payments coming up of providing certain relief to companies and individuals for liquidity. So the president is 100% committed that we will provide whatever tools we need, that the economy will be in very good shape a year from now. This is not like the financial crisis where we don't know the end in sight. This is about providing proper tools and liquidity to get through the next few months.
Yeah. Follow up.
Well, let me just say there are certain authorities that the president has that we can do on our own. And we've already cataloged those tools. We have a large group, a sub-task force of Treasury and NEC working on this. We are also working with bipartisan leadership on a whole range of alternatives that we'll be discussing with them tomorrow. And as you know, we had bipartisan agreement on the spending deal. We will use the same approach to work with the leadership on the House and the Senate on this.
You just said that you have not been tested. You said you don't know if the president has been tested, but today we learned that the president has interacted with two lawmakers who have interacted with someone who is positive for coronavirus. So why not get tested?
Well, I just simply don't know what the White House physician has recommended to the president, but I promise you we'll get you that information.
When do you think you could let us know if the president has been tested?
We'll let you know tonight.
Okay.
Right away. Yeah, look, this is obviously the White House physician is their directive is to see to the health and well-being of the president of the United States, and we'll get you a very direct answer on that. I've had no recommendation that I would be tested, and but let me just say to everyone, I really do believe that the guidance that we put out today would be very helpful and very encouraging to Americans. It was fashioned by Dr. Birx, Dr. Fauci, some of the leading experts in infectious disease in the world. And for families that are looking on tonight to go to coronavirus.gov, you can find information about how you can just make your home safer, your family safer, your school safer, your business safer. And we recommend that to your attention. Yes, please.
President, do you believe, and does the president believe, that what happened in the stock market today and what we're seeing among American industries, some of which the president named today as being affected and in trouble here, are in any way a result of this White House's reaction to the coronavirus crisis? Is this the markets and American businesses saying that you guys are not enough in and didn't think enough ahead?
Well, I have to tell you, I'm about a week and a half into being asked to lead the president's White House coronavirus task force. And the men and women standing behind me and all the men and women standing behind them, have done a remarkable job responding to this. The president's decision to suspend all travel from China. Dr. Fauci, I think, reflected just last night on national television about the time that bought us, the decisive action in declaring a public health emergency. I really do believe that the American people can see that this president is putting the health of the American people first. But make no mistake about it, as we go forward, and particularly as we have more testing available, we have these communities that have community spread, there will be more cases. But we simply ask, we ask today for the American public to join with us in common sense practices that will mitigate the spread of the coronavirus. And also particularly, we're asking every American to look after our seniors who have serious underlying health issues. They are clearly the most vulnerable. And that's where the focus of our energy is today, even as we do everything that we can, working with governors at every level, state and local public health officials to limit the spread of the virus.
If I could ask you a question of Dr. Fauci. Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Dr. Fauci, you're up there. More and more organizations, charities are canceling fundraising events, other events. Is that prudent? Is that an overreaction? Do you think the president should continue with campaign rallies? And do you believe that people, even if they're healthy, should get on board a cruise ship?
Okay, so there's multiple different questions, John. So the idea about individual entities, governors, mayors, or whatever, canceling activities that are not coming from a direct recommendation from the federal government. I think that they have I know they have the authority to do that, but what they're probably acting on is what they would consider for their citizens an abundance of caution. Most of the time when that happens, it usually is in an area where there is already documented community spread. And Dr. Redfield mentioned the 4 areas right now that are having community spread that's documented. But there may be, as we know, it's a possibility that there's community spread going on in areas in which we're not detecting it yet. And I think that's the response of the individuals, be they mayors or governors who have you, who are doing that. So I wouldn't criticize them for that. They're using their own individual judgment. And to me, I think that would be prudent. I can't comment on campaign rallies. It really depends. We are having, as we've all said, this is something in motion. This is an evolving thing. So not sure what we're going to be able to say at the time where you have a campaign rally. If you're talking about a campaign rally tomorrow in a place where there is no community spread, I think the judgment to have it might be a good judgment. If you want to talk about large gatherings in a place where you have community spread, I think that's a judgment call. And if someone decides they want to cancel it, I wouldn't publicly criticize them.
Mr. Vice President, I asked one last one about cruise ships because a lot of people are planning cruises over the spring break. Would you recommend that anybody, even a healthy person, get on board a cruise ship?
Yeah, I think if you're a healthy young person, that there is no reason, if you want to go on a cruise ship, to go on a cruise ship. Personally, I would never go on a cruise ship because I don't like cruises. But that's another story. But the fact is that if you have the conditions that I've been speaking about over and over again to this group, namely an individual who has an underlying condition, particularly an elderly person that has underlying condition, I would recommend strongly that they do not go on a cruise ship.
And let me also say, John, I think you raise a good point. We're expecting a proposal tomorrow. The DHS, the Coast Guard, all of our health officials are currently discussing with the cruise line industry. I was in Miami on Saturday. We made it very clear that we needed cruise lines to be safer, to establish and to embrace new protocols, screening on board, screening off, new medical protocols, shipboard processes for evacuating people that may contract coronavirus or a serious illness. And And I know the president was grateful that our cruise line leadership all stepped up to the table. They said they're ready to go to the next level. And so we'll be reviewing that proposal tomorrow with the objective that apart from the Americans that Dr. Fauci just seniors with serious underlying conditions, we're going to work with the cruise line industry to improve the safety, improve the health environment on cruise lines in the short term and in the long term. Yes,
Mr. President,
thank you.
Sorry, I got it. Last time President Trump was in this room, he told us that the number of U.S. cases was 15 and would soon go down to 0. You guys are saying today that the number is going up and it's more than 500. What is the discrepancy and how was he so wrong on that number?
Oh, I think what the president was referring to is that we will have people that test positive and then they get better. President Trump wants the American people to know, and I'm going to ask Dr. Birx to reflect on this for a moment. The vast majority of people who contract the coronavirus will get better. And the president's just challenged our task force as the numbers grow, and they will. As we'll continue to test more and more Americans. We are, as I'm standing here. That it's also important to remember that the vast majority get better completely. Some large percentage have mild flu symptoms. Some have serious flu symptoms. But then, of course, for the Americans you heard the Surgeon General refer to, seniors with underlying serious health conditions, Dr. Fauci referred to, we're committed to lean in and to make sure they have the support they need. But the president's focus here is just making sure people understand that while the numbers grow, there are people that come off the list because they get better. And Dr. Birx, did you want to reflect on what we know about the cycle of the coronavirus?
Yeah, thank you. So we know the coronavirus reacts a lot like the flu in the way it spreads and in the way we prevent it. And so when we put out the guidelines to the American people, they will reinforce the guidelines, and we hope the number of flu cases go down too, because people will really be what we call situational awareness. I did want to add one piece to our cautions about people with pre-existing conditions. We also know that there are children with pre-existing conditions, and we know that there are individuals that are undergoing chemotherapy for their treatment of cancer. For those individuals, if they have what we call decreased number of white cells, and they will have that discussions with the doctors, they are given often a sheet of paper that really describes how they need to protect themselves and how their family needs to protect them. So I want to make sure that we understand, yes, we're concerned about the elderly, we're concerned about others with pre-existing condition. We're also concerned about anybody who may be in an what we call an immunodeficiency state, having less white cells and less able to combat any virus. We want to protect all of them from the flu, and we want to protect all of them from coronavirus. And that's why these guidelines are particularly important.
It really is important, I think. And I want to ask all of the journalists in the room, do what you can to distribute this information, coronavirus.gov, because exactly the reason that Dr. Birx just said so well, that we want to make sure that families have the tools, businesses have the tools, even in areas where we don't have a significant outbreak of the coronavirus. We want to make sure that the American people have the tools to prevent the spread of the coronavirus, particularly with regard to the most vulnerable.
Yes, Mr. Vice President, earlier you said you'd tell us how many Americans have already been tested. And as a follow-up to a question that was asked earlier, are the president's tweets hurting your efforts at all? Because he's accused the Democrats and some of the members of the press of making more of this than he says it is. He's made lighter of it than you all have here. So has his tweets hurt you? And can you please tell us how many Americans have been tested?
I'm happy to do that. The president's leadership has made the difference here. I heard it again today from 47 governors. Governor Larry Hogan joined me in the Situation Room. He's the chairman of the National Governor Association. I think every American would be inspired if you could see the way, under the president's leadership and in cooperation with governors in every state and every territory, We literally are working seamlessly on behalf of the health of the American people. I'm going to invite the Secretary of HHS to come up and speak about how the number of tests that have been done and where we are. The tests that are available, he's addressed, but in terms of those that have been conducted.
So we've told you, we'll tell you what we know and what we don't know. Okay. So there are different types of tests that get sent out. The CDC's test that CDC is sending out, that's that enough to test 75,000 people that was sent out last week. Those go to public health labs, about 80 labs in the United States, one in each state at least. Those report results back in to the CDC because they're part of the public health network. The larger quantity of tests that shipped, about 900,000 of the tests that shipped by this weekend, and then so many of the remainder of that total 2.1 million tests, those go to hospitals, private labs, others for testing. They don't currently have to report to us that they've conducted a test or what the result of that test is. The CDC is actively working right now to build that IT connectivity with them so we can gather that information. So right now, I could not give you a number of how many Americans have received a test because many will have received a test through hospitals or non-public health labs. And so let's work. We're getting the system, the IT system up through CDC. We want to give you accurate information as we go. Dr. Redfield, is that fair?
If I may, everyone, thank you all for being here. We will be back here tomorrow, and we'll continue to bring the latest information forward to the American people. Again, let me encourage all of you here and everyone looking on around the country to go to coronavirus.gov. Get really useful, practical, common sense recommendations about how to make your home safer, how to make your school safer, how to make your business and any enterprise out there safer. These are practical recommendations from the best experts in America, and we commend them to your attention. But let me also just have a word of encouragement to everyone. I want to say again, all of our medical experts, apart from the areas where we have community spread and we're focusing resource, the risk of contracting the coronavirus, the average American remains low. It will remain that way more so if all of us continue to practice common sense habits in our home, in our businesses, in our schools, our public institutions. And so it's important to remember what President Trump said. We're all in this together. It's not just going to be a whole of government approach. It's a whole of America approach, and together we'll get through the coronavirus. Again, details on all the latest information, coronavirus.gov. Thank you.
Goodness gracious. Wow. Okay, people. Victoria, thank you. I'm like, I'm sorry. I cannot stand people who are full of it. I mean, oh my God. Yeah, definitely. Victoria, I can't hold back. I'm just like, give me a barf bag right now. I'm stinking believable. Seriously. Thanks. I'm sorry. I'm a little dramatic, I guess, but it's just how I feel. I mean, what lying sacks of shit. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to stop swearing, but let me see. Renee, my intuition is telling me that they intend for people to die from this. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. They are. I mean, the spin is surreal. The guy didn't give a you know what about Gary. Oh my God. My friend in Oregon was refused a test. He has symptoms. Yep. I watched the Tom Hartman show the other day, and it was yesterday, and they had scores of people writing in and calling in and saying one lady had got pushed to the side four different times. She has a 98-year-old grandmother. She's over 60, and she has some symptoms, and they said no 4 different times to her. Not the same hospital. She went everywhere. They were smart. They wouldn't be. Neil Sinclair. Yeah, well, yeah. These people are unconscionable. It's kind of funny because I might sound just horrible watching me laugh, but these people don't care about others. These are not good people. It's a lifestyle, not a hobby. So just listening to them try to reassure us all. It's disgusting. It's unbelievable. It's come to this. Well, if not now, then when do we want a government we can trust? Dang. Yep, Don, totally. I totally get what you're saying. Yeah, this is really sad. Anyway, I don't want to go on and on. Tell me what you think. I'm going to start the show. If you guys can stay, that would be great. I know it's kind of been a lot. I want to thank everybody from yesterday who came to that show. It was really nice. As usual, the people make the show. I'm just going to jump right in and say anything you want. I'm going to try to keep up with people's comments tonight. So welcome to Real Talk with Angry Soccer Mom. I'm like indignant soccer mom. I'm disgusted, but I think a lot of people are. It's like, I have this thing about being lied to. I don't know what it is. It turns me into a monster. I don't like to be lied to. I would rather hear the ugly, sick, horrible truth any day of the week than have someone, it's not the lie, it's that they're bullshitting me right to my face. Like, they're saying, I think you are so stupid that I'm going to lie right to your face. And you're going to be like, oh, okay. That's the part. It's just the disconnect of the relationship disconnect. It is, I just can't stand people who lie. I don't know what it is. It drives me crazy. But anyway, I think it was probably from my childhood, to be honest, but we won't go into that. I had a really crazy upbringing, if you will. And it didn't go well. It wasn't good for me. So there's a few things I really don't like, and it's BS. But Victoria, hate liars. Yeah, it's like, my God, it's awful. Gary, remember some of Trump's supporters said the pandemic is all about discrediting Trump. Oh, of course it is. Yes, because talk about megalomaniac. Talk about people who think it's all about them. My God, yes, we all started this to discredit Trump. Actually, it's sort of funny because I know this might sound obvious, but I think he's doing a great job by himself. I don't think he needs any help. He doesn't need any microorganisms to be made in a lab, to send around. It's like he's doing a great job every time he opens his mouth. I'm sorry, that's such obvious information, but also my point of view, nails and glitter, that my younger people want Medicaid, Medicare. Yeah, we can do without a pandemic. Yeah, and he really didn't. I mean, his people must have been scrambling. I mean, I work for a company in China, so I know when this started, and when they started getting people. I mean, this is months and months ago. This is ridiculous that he's dropped the ball, gotten rid of all the people. Defunded 38 countries that could not afford to. He way before this hit, he's defunded them. So, I mean, it's like, does he not understand that you can defund them, but these people get around and it'll get back to us? I mean, if you're a selfish, SOB, you still got to have sense. But no. Anyway, I'm ranting and raving. A bunch of older people could die right before the census. Oh, this is true. At this point, I don't believe a single word. I thought there'd be like a mini Trump with a little gun to their backs, like saying, don't you say that. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't put it past him. This man is a monster. I do not say that lightly. I mean, I've been watching him it's been a few years now. I know we all have. I've been really delving into who he is as a person. And let me tell you, the one thing he didn't lie about is that he was going to be absolutely horrible and evil. And he has absolutely kept his promise. So I'm sorry to say that's the scariest thing. I'm going to get started with the show. I hope you guys can stay. I want to know what you think, always. And I'm going to try to keep up. I always say that. Lots of good stuff to talk about. Scary stuff, good stuff, medium stuff. So welcome to Real Talk with Angry Soccer Mom. This week's discussion topics, as always, include anything you feel is newsworthy about racism, bigotry, inequality, and corruption. We added a fourth because corruption seems to be, that corruption. So this is just such a scary time to be alive. It really is. I mean, I know we can say that at any time, but we have a lunatic in the White House, people. Like, I need to tell you this. And he believes he's above the law. And you know what? I tend to agree with him. At this point, I think he is above the law. He has circumvented the Constitution. Congratulations. You win, we all lose. I'm not sure what he wants to win, but it's not good. I truly believe he's usurped the power from the judiciary, and definitely, I don't know what he has on all those senators, but damn. So the show is just to chat and talk, and again, the discussion topics are pretty much anything, because everything seems to lead back to all this, all these social issues. Show's meant to be an opportunity for viewers to speak their minds, but also to serve as an educational tool for white folks who want to learn the truth about systemic racism, inequality, and bigotry, and now corruption, the new word for the day, for the year, for the month. So before we start, I want to say I'm angry soccer mom. Kids don't play soccer. I'm not really angry. I'm just extremely disappointed in my fellow humans, because I love our country, and I know we're not a perfect country. We're certainly not a great country, but we could be. And that's what kills me. I think we could be a great country. We could be the leaders of morality. We could be the leaders of humanity. But oh no, there's that one thing called capitalism gone berserk, wild. Capitalism on steroids. We're not going to do with that. And I won't go on and on, but I believe this country has very good people in it, and we could pull this around. Dixon's my friend. I know. I actually just talked to him. Dixon, I have done. You're so funny, Victoria. I love Dixon. He's married, so he's like busy. I'm like, my Dixon's gone, but he's running a family now, and he's super busy. But I would love to get him onto one of the shows, and he will. He will. I know he will. You guys, everybody has to write to him and pressure him. That would be awesome. Just say, Angry Soccer Mom wants you to come on. He'll come on. I did an interview with him a while back. He's just a great interview. He's a great guy. He's been a friend for quite some time now, and he's a good guy. Thanks. Yeah, I love him. He's busy. If you haven't, okay, so I'm not angry as much as just like highly disappointed, and because I know we humans can do better than this. We're humans. Come on, we can do better than this. So just not enough of us are into it, and I get we're in a bad spot right now with the middle class. Incomes have not. I cannot even believe. I know my family had a higher income. Oh, Dawn, me too. I don't know what it is. It brings the evil out in me. My family's income was 20 years ago was the same as now practically. And anyway, I won't get into it, but it's bad. We've had some just basically corporations have taken over America. I think we might be at the end of our democratic republic. That's kind of what I'm going to talk about tonight a little bit. So not as angry as I am, just incredibly saddened, because this nation could have done incredible things, but greed has really gotten in the way. So if you are new tonight, please consider subscribing. I have rants, interviews, and really some of my rants are crazy rants that you'll be kind of like terrified of me. And then some of my videos are nice, proper. I was a teacher, and proper, nice, educational. So there's something for everybody, and I definitely have an opinion, and I used to be shy. So I don't know what happened, but all this racism throughout a lifetime just brought out the crazy in me. I don't know what to say. So, oh my gosh, sorry about that noise. Thank you so much for everyone who came yesterday. I am changing the format of the Tuesday show. It originally was supposed to, and I won't get too into it, it was originally supposed to be a show about having me in the little corner, you know how they do that in the little corner, and having panel people have a nice discussion, people who live this every day. But as it turns out, a lot of people, understandably, do not want their face on an anti-racism program, anti-bigotry program, because of repercussions from white people. Sorry, I said it. Kind of sad, but I get that. So the show is going to, I'm thinking of switching it to a more of the Wednesday night format will stay the same, but I'm having a guest speaker and doing a half an hour show each Tuesday with different guest speakers on very specific topics. So I hope that is good for everybody. If you have a PhD in experience, or actually a PhD, give me a buzz and come on, get a hold of me. Come on, pick a topic that you love. I want to know what you think. So you don't have to be this, highly, highly educated, but we like that too. But if you have a PhD in experience, that's all that's required. In other words, if you're living this and you have an opinion, there's no group that's a monolith, and I want everybody to say what they think. If I don't agree, oh well, it's not my place sometimes. It really isn't. It's not what I think, it's what you think. Don, is it stupidity or just plain good old-fashioned narcissism? Oh, goodness gracious. Somebody today will be doing their PhD thesis and passing with flying colors. He'd need like a panel of Freudian disciples to like work and find. If you're talking about Trump, I think he has personality disorder personally. And those aren't really curable per se. And he's not being challenged. So, oh my gosh, don't get me into it. I will go on and on. But yeah, narcissism. Grassroots groups, One Force, One Balance. Welcome. Tell me, what about them? Tell me more. I love grassroots groups. I started one. It got destroyed. I'm not going to talk about me, but yeah, tell me more. What are you thinking? I definitely, everything I do, I know to try to educate white folks and to try to educate people who are numerical majority members, to try to understand people who are not and actually become friends so that they get they're humans. Grassroots up, nothing obviously, like this is kind of obvious, nothing's going to be coming from top down, but I love grassroots for interviews. Oh, yes. Absolutely. Got it. Sorry, I wasn't sure where we're at. Yes, I have done. Oh, goodness. Oh, yes. That's one of the topics of tonight. I have a lot of thoughts, and I want to know what you guys think, too. I am going to be, you're going to think I'm crazy. I'm going to be interviewing somebody about aberrant behaviors, and I'm going to be interviewing somebody else about aberrant sexual behaviors of white folks with regards to black people. I'm going for it. I'll talk about anything. And I am going to, let me see. I have my friend Thomas, who was a former Mississippi leader of the Aryan Brotherhood leader, who got shot and is now blind because of it. But he got out, but they tried to make him die, but it's a long story. He has interviews all over my, he's incredible interviews, most honest, forthright guy. Love the guy. I learned more from him than I think I ever have. It is not what I thought. I thought I knew. I didn't know. So I did a 7-part interview with him, a 6-part interview with him, and a Q&A. So if you're ever interested, I also did, Dixon did a great interview a while back and told his life story, and he's got some stories. That guy can tell a story. So, and I've done other things. I'm happy to interview anyone who has something to say that needs an audience. So that's what I try to do, or just needs to know that somebody cares. And my last interview was, I did my friend's book, which is right here. I did my friend's book. He wrote a very, very nice book. I read it, loved it. And we did an interview. He's a Christian man who from Mississippi, who lived in a town where the county tried to secede from the Union. They didn't want to be in it. So there's a lot of stories. And I also did oh my gosh, I'm blabbing. I'll stop blabbing and let's go on with the show. If you want my call-in number, we're going to have Wednesday call-ins from now on. Because Tuesday's not going to be a call-in. It'll just be like kind of like a panel show, but without people's faces. So if you want to call in, get a hold of me on Angry Soccer Mom Facebook, and I will check you out, make sure you're not a troll person, and then I will give you the number and you can call in anytime. Let's get on with if you're on Twitter, I don't know how to use Twitter. I've been on it for a long time. I'm at Imagine No Hate. No clue how to use it. Yes, I am that person. Tonight's topics that I have are Trump's address on the coronavirus, which we pretty much covered. Liar, pants on fire. I don't believe a word he says. I hope it's true what he says, but I think he's completely full of it as usual. My second commentary: why nothing will stop Trump except a progressive agenda. And this is an opinion commentary, obviously. I'm extremely concerned about, the black folks and Biden, and I don't get it. It's not my place to get it, but since I care about who wins, I want to get it, and I'm hoping that they are right. There's no perfect candidate, but we have a monster in the White House who wants to be king. And I was thinking he's going to be closing I'm just thinking all these things he might do. Close the border, to help everyone with the coronavirus. He's madman. The things he's done behind our backs, we have yet to even discover half of them, I'm sure. So I want to talk about Nathaniel Wood. Nate Wood was put to death by the state of Alabama. It's disgusting. I'm extremely vehemently opposed to capital punishment, or what I call state-sanctioned murder of our fellow humans. I truly believe, I think Trump's going to win. Me too. I don't want him to, but I think he's going to. I truly believe that it is the responsibility of the people in the greatest power to take the best care of the most vulnerable, and that includes people who we've deemed, criminals, people who have severe mental disorders that maybe aren't so pleasant, people who we put into prisons, people who are homeless. It is our responsibility to take care of them better, because they are the most vulnerable people. And to be humane means you take care of the most vulnerable people, like you take care of your best friend, your daughter, your son, your husband, your wife. And we aren't doing that. We have the capability. We just don't want to. I have high standards. I don't know what to say. Maybe I'm an idealist, but we will pay for a bomb or a war. No one ever asks where the money comes from for that. But when we have people who are good people who have become homeless and jobless because of our bad practices, we look down upon them. I think we need a big cultural shift. I truly believe that we are at the end of our democratic republic, and we are going towards, how it goes. It kind of goes, you go towards, I know, yeah, Don, I sure as hell hope for my kids, your kids, and for what this country could be. As flawed as so many people think the founding fathers were, because they were not able to personally overcome not all of them, but most of them, their inhumanity with regards to slavery. They wrote a document that was meant to flex with time and place and people. And I hope to hell it's as brilliant as everyone says it is, because we need it more than ever now, because our democratic republic's going down. I think we're going to turn into people like, oh no, but watch what's happening already. We have a president who's above the law, who's in office, and will very likely win. Let me take some comments before I go on and on. I also want to, this coronavirus is sure putting a strange twist into everything, but who knows? Let me see. Corporate socialism, absolutely. Victoria, yep. Oh, yes. Nails and glitter, President Dingus will win against Creepy Joe unless Dingus screws his pandemic up worse. Yeah, and it makes he's all about obsession with money. He is the capitalism on steroids with a side order, maybe 10 side orders of racism, bigotry, and inequality and corruption. He's unstinking believable. Good one. Goes Killer, the whole NBA season was canceled due to coronavirus. Yeah, I heard something about that. Is that right? One Force. Trump will win because Democrat Party along with Republican Party are a joke and not for the people. Yeah, I mean, we have really lost our way here. And personally, I think it might be too late, just to be honest. But you know what? I don't know. We'll have to find out. And I just didn't think it would be happening during my lifetime. Dang, didn't. Surprise, surprise. What do you know? I guess democratic republics are a little more fragile than we all thought. Freedom isn't free, and a lot of people take this place for granted. And they take our Constitution for granted, and they take what holds this place together for granted, and they are unwilling to do the hard work of thinking, which is what makes us human. We actually have to think, and it can be painful. We have to use our high level thinking skills, and not just surface level. Surface level doesn't cut it. And you know how attorneys who are trying people and trying to get their way always want an uneducated populace. And I'm sorry, people have chosen to support a monster who is basically, he ran on his vow and promise to harm, Jamie, hello, to harm. The man ran a campaign for presidency, boasting arrogantly that he'd like to harm already historically marginalized groups, and pretty much every one of them. So he's kept his promise, as far as I'm concerned. He's kept his promise and then some, as I believed he would. All I had to hear is what he did at the Central Park Five, and those kids, now men, and I was like, we are so in trouble. So yeah, I think I just can't believe it's gone this far. It is terrifying, but yeah, I just think we took it for granted. Tell me what you think. You really think we are a democratic republic? You know, I think for a while, remember, I'm old. I don't know how old you are, Victoria. Excuse me. But I'm old. I thought for a while we were, and oh, okay. Thank you. My engineer has spoken. Yes, you are absolutely right. I knew she was right. Thank you. Bummed or?
I just saw
Yeah,
I didn't know you were talking about.
Yeah, I was talking about it. That's funny. Yes, they have suspended the. I guess interesting. So I think things are going to be happening rapidly, changing every hour. Let me take some more comments. I never thought it was. In the last 10 or 15 years, I've kind of like grown to understand that it's not, but I think there's just the last 20 years have been kind of rough. Things have gotten out of hand. So yeah, I'm not sure what we are, but right now we have a president above the law. So to me, you can call it whatever you want, but, and I'm not talking to you personally, Victoria, of course, but people can call it whatever they want. But if he's above the law, which he seems to be at this point, I say that's pretty much dictatorship. He's not taking a third of the power. He's usurped much more. So Gary, the buffoon's son-in-law, is best buds with Saudi crown prince and other heartless dictator that Trump was. Yeah, I don't know what it is with Trump and his heartless dictators. 68. Oh, you okay? So I guess I didn't. So you have a lot of a better, not because you're older, but just because I didn't start when I was younger. I didn't follow politics at all. Only social issues. And I know that sounds naive, but that's kind of where I was at. I was way into sociology and social issues. And when I got a little bit older and Trump came onto the scene, or at least it seemed like someone like Trump was gonna, that's when I thought, oh man, I got to start understanding all this politics. I can't stand politics. Because to me, the word politics means you're lying. Just the actual definition, but that's just me. But Victoria, I appreciate you very much, your input. Because my forte is not politics by any means. Yeah. So let me see here. So I have a bunch of topics. I have a little bit of a rant, but I'm going to interrupt the rant anytime you guys want to say something, because that's what I'm doing today. So bear with me. Joe Biden might likely become the president, or at least the person who's going to run against Trump. But I don't understand why he's a favorite. I don't think he's a horrible, horrible human being. I don't know him. I don't know enough about him personally. But in my opinion, he is what we call a white moderate. And he is not only not a progressive, But unless I'm missing something, and I am hoping that the viewers watching still will fill me in if I am, he will be a status quo man. He will be a status quo man. He will likely bring back some of the Obama era laws if he does win. Common sense, fair things. But I'm not holding my breath that he's actually going to advance us beyond the point to actually dismantling systemic racism, which is what I personally, it's just my own thing, I would love to. It is just so past time. Me too. Crystal. Crystal? Dawn. Energy. You are correct. I missed energy. I don't because the piece of paper wasn't written for me. Constitution was written for rich white men. Right. But as they say, and I totally get that, as they say, like I keep looking back and having hope, that's kind of what we have right now. And there's not a lot we can do about it. And I know that the Confederacy sure as hell hated those founding fathers because they were too liberal, because they wrote it so that slavery could be ended when the people demanded it. And if you ever read the Cornerstone speech and ever read literature and stuff on, and I know you have obviously, Nails and Glitter, you read stuff on their hatred for them, it was all because they left an opening. I mean, I don't think, praise them for leaving an opening to end slavery, but they realized it was coming and nothing was going to stop it. And I truly believe that individually flawed humans can still write a great document. It's all we have. It's all we have. And I hope to hell it was as good as they say it is, because, and I get what you're saying, of course, and I have no place, no desire to say anything about Nails and Glitter, what you're saying. I don't. I just hope to hell for all of our sakes that thing holds up. That thing that we all think, many of us feel was supposed to be this brilliant document written by incredibly flawed humans, obviously, who couldn't take it upon themselves to live up to their own supposed values. Kind of sick shit, but okay. Let me see. It isn't a term that merely defines male dominance. It defines white male dominance over all the rest of us. I'm from Croatia, and there are 19 cases here. Wow, tell us more. Welcome to the show. Tell us more about that, because a lot of places don't have. We will have so many more cases. People don't have kids to test, and I know that's what it is. And a lot of the nations that have nothing, no cases, because they don't have the capacity to test. And I know we don't have the capacity to test everybody we want, but I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your name right, but definitely tell us more. We want to know. I know China, because I know a little bit more about China, because I talk to people every day there, because that's I work for a company in China. But yeah, let me see here. What are people saying? Nails and Glitter, he's progressive for banks. Coops to 33. They better not cancel XFL. I'm not sure. I think it's going to explode, and we're going to be under serious, because Trump waited so darn long to get our act together and get people tested and get people on this. I bet there are people walking around with this everywhere, in the U.S. at least. Just my, thought. Gary, one of the Biden's campaign staff says he will be the most progressive president in history today in NPR. Saying Biden will be? Well, that would be absolutely amazing. Gary, there's nothing I hope for more. Absolutely nothing. Because I'm really seeing this not looking good. Definitely, if you have that, send it on our way. We need some hope, I think. Nails and Glitter, they're already predicting the virus will get worse in the fall. Dark Messiah, they're going to quarantine or probably place martial law all over the establishment. The country is going to collapse. Yeah, at this point, with the poor leadership we have, I am very concerned about that. I'm concerned about martial law in that Trump, there are a lot of things he wants to do that once he implements martial law, he can do without having to pass it by Congress. And that's my personal concern, is that he will, because he's a con man and he's a mobster dude. He knows how to use the system to his advantage. He's very good with that. I'm waiting for him to close the borders on us, saying we can't go anywhere. That is going to be, because that's a scary Hitler thing to do. Victoria, where did I do? Oh, Biden is a liar. Yeah, I mean, boy, I don't know, but it's not looking so great. I'm really concerned, and Dawn says I agree. Gary, I hope to heck you're right. I really do. I'm not wishing, I'm not trying to be the soothsayer of doom, but I don't know if he can even beat Trump. Trump's got a lot of tricks up his sleeve. He's used to handling people, and Biden really seems kind of shaky to me. He seems a little out of it, so that's the whole thing. But anyway, so I'm not holding my breath on him going after and dismantling systemic racism. And why am I all into this, you might ask? Well, because I don't think he is, because it doesn't seem like he's that into it. His claim of fame seems to be like he's a good buddy to Obama, and I think it's great he's a good buddy to Obama, but I'm not honestly sure what the heck else. It's lovely that he's good buddies with Obama, but I don't know what else. I can't name a progressive policy that I think he'll for sure implement. Maybe I need to watch the show, Gary. Maybe I need to watch that. Victoria says Trump has Stephen Miller. Yeah, no, he's a very bad man. He's terrifying. Great point. He's a really scary dude. I mean, on many levels, he's kind of like the mastermind of these horrific things that they've done with the people seeking asylum from countries that we helped destabilize. Go figure. Can anyone name a really progressive policy that Biden's going to promise to put into play? See, here's the problem with me and moderates. I have issues with white moderates on a personal level, which maybe we'll talk about another time if you only knew. But I think that they oftentimes believe they're doing the right thing in words, but in their actions, when push comes to shove, they speak another language. Let me explain. Biden, to me, is the quintessential nice to everybody guy. Chicano Aztec, this channel is about talking in multicultural groups to Ronald, you're just on time. Don't worry, you're just on time. Talking to everybody about anti-racism, anti-bigotry, inequality, and corruption in America and the world, but mostly America. So that's what it's about. It's about getting people's voices out there, and it also serves as a place where white folks who normally may not encounter groups that they can just talk and ask questions and all that, serves as a learning tool for them to listen to what a lot of people who actually live this have to say. It's great to listen, so it's a good thing. Listening is the first step for us white folks to understand systemic racism. Just sit there and listen, and then catch on, and it's a lifetime journey. No hate, but I'm a Bernie fan. Just saying. Yeah. Me too. Hello, David. Yeah, no, I'm absolutely a Bernie fan. I will vote whoever it is. Obviously for the nomination, I'll vote blue no matter who because of my own personal convictions. But I do understand some people will not. You got a lot of people here like that. And that's kind of what my rant's about. So I'm going to keep ranting for a minute, and then I want to hear what you think. I think he's the quintessential nice to everyone guy who will make some of us feel really good about being American again. Not all of us, some of us. Despite us, he'll make us feel good about being American again for a little while, despite us being in the cave days when it comes to progressive, humane, cutting edge, leader of the world stuff that are best practices. So I got to say, I don't think we're going to be advancing much with him. I hope to hell I'm wrong, but he's just not striking me as a person who is going to say, you know what, we're done with this. So I've got some issues. Let me explain what I mean by white moderates. They wouldn't dream of using the N-word, but they also really don't know a ton about our real racial history. They think they might know a lot because what they learned in school, but they don't really get that was really not our real history. They might know a couple quotes from Dr. King, but they're not really able to use it in any meaningful context. When push comes to shove, they're not willing to walk the walk. Okay? And that's how I feel about white moderates. And yes, it's been a while. It's been a while for me in the making. They might be very nice people. I am not saying they are not, but they know nothing about the depths of horror, of crime against humanity that have caused all the problems that Black folks and African Americans and Indigenous folks have to face today. They don't get the depth of it, so they cannot understand the urgency of it. Hence the word moderate. This is just my commentating my rants. It's just it's my opinion. Let me see. Chicano Azteca. Okay, they are interesting topics. I want to vote for. Oh, last year, but unfortunately he did not get the. Oh, Kasich. Oh, yeah. That's a toughie. Yep. ADOS. Victoria is an empty vessel. They will manipulate Biden. Oh, yes. And this is just my opinion. Nobody has to agree. This is just, I've had a lot of dealings with white moderates, and I am not saying he's the worst. I am not saying he's the best. I don't know him. I'd have to know him much more intimately than I do. I'd have to read much more about him. I'd have to research much more about him. But my problem lies in the problem I have with moderates. It's lovely and nice, but it's not going to dismantle and it's not going to break up the current system of white supremacy that we have. I'm Bernie all the way, just like I was Obama all the way. Yep, no, I can relate to that very much. Being nice to everyone doesn't cut it. The urgency, being nice to everyone is lovely. Don't get me wrong, but the urgency just is not there. And I hope, I would love to be wrong, honestly. Gary, people see Bernie as too divisive, unwilling to compromise to get at least things partially accomplished. Biden, they see it will do just that. Yeah, and I hope so. Yeah, David, I don't know how many young folks are here, but get your young asses out there and vote, please. Absolutely. Our young people could save the day, and I don't think they're going to. I don't think, David, in my, very opinionated opinion, I don't think our democracy, or whatever we want to call it now, will uphold more. I don't think another minute of Trump, let alone another 4 years. I think we're done. So, but Biden will not get my vote. Tell the Dems to stop rigging the primaries. Yeah, it's been a toughie. I don't know why everyone's absolutely against Bernie. I really have noted that, and I don't get it. I guess they think he can't win, or, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. He can't win if they're saying he can't win, because that's what everyone starts thinking, and that's what, you know how that goes. But the argument, the point I'm kind of make was kind of exemplified. I don't know if you guys saw Roland Martin, if you follow him. Niels, would you vote for Trump before Biden? Well, Niels has an interesting take on that. Maybe she will explain. I don't want to talk for her, but we've talked about that, and I absolutely get what she's saying. Unfortunately, I understand very much what she's saying. So yeah, definitely, she'll probably be able to answer. No. I'm just asking not be. Oh, that's not Ante. No, we know. That's what we're here for. Is to talk and to ask and to find out. You're doing everything perfect. Yeah. I don't know if you have time right now because you might be busy, Nails, but Nails, NNG, my favorite moderator. I'm just kidding, Pat. I'm kidding. You are too. The point was exemplified when, if you guys watch Roland Martin, he recently did that was couple days now on the Chris Cuomo CNN, where he had the Biden campaign and the Sanders campaign kind of people talking, and they got really into it. And the argument involved Bernie's campaign quoting Dr. King's writing, where he called out the danger of white moderates. And the danger being pointing a finger at Biden as the white moderate. And I know a little bit about the danger, so I kind of tended to agree. Said they were dangerous because although they're very nice to everybody and make things comfortable, and they didn't say this, I'm saying this, they don't have any sense of urgency with respect to how bad things are for non-white folks, especially Black and African American people in America. They don't understand the urgency. They don't understand what it's like to constantly know that a police could come by and get away with killing you for doing absolutely nothing. I mean, among the gazillion other things. Police could arrest your child for being a child and put them in the system. A police could kill your child. Forget killing, could maim your child for life. A police could traumatize your child for life. I mean, I'm just talking the police. Your child could be, I could go on and on. I don't want to go on and on because you know what I'm talking about. I know you all do. Right, nails and glitter. I prefer President Dingus over Biden. Maybe if you have time to tell people why. That's why she gets the big bucks. She makes a good point. Sad but good. So this argument got very ugly. Did anyone see that on? I'm gonna put it up on actually a video screen. I'm gonna put it on my YouTube because it was very interesting. Because the person who is the woman who was speaking for Sanders is a Black woman, and the woman who was speaking for Biden was a white lady, and she kind of crossed the line. It got it was not pretty. But for me, what it did was drive the point home that white moderates do not seem, it's just my opinion, to understand that being nice to everyone makes them feel good. It makes them feel nice, but it does nothing to dismantle the system. I think everyone's wonderful, coming together, yay, let's all be friends, but let's be real. It's a bunch of bullshit. And I like to keep it real, and I like to tell it how it is, and people think I'm just being negative, but I feel that it's being real. We have a problem in this nation that we do not want to address. We will do anything to not address it. White moderates help us keep it nice and sweet and darling. And that's not really helping in my mind. After what I've heard from my friends who are not white over years and years and years. White moderates don't have to examine themselves to make sure that, they're really moving up the anti-racism ladder continuum for life, nor do they have to make any substantial progress up that ladder because, you see, white moderates feel a lot of times that they're already there and they get it, okay? So they don't have to keep learning and they don't have to keep exploring, and that is a problem. White moderates are exemplified by the white women who protest at a women's march and then afterwards invite all the white women back to their house for dinner because they don't have a single Black friend and they don't know why Black folks are upset. It's like knowing just enough about your medical condition to think you know everything. That is what I feel about white moderates. Okay, I was a white moderate for a long time, not in name because I wasn't political, but I hadn't delved in deep enough when I was younger. This is when I was very much younger. I hadn't delved in deep enough to really get it. And I'll never get it all the way, but I sure as hell get the urgency now. So, let me see here. Okay, here we go. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, woman, yes. David says, woman, yes. I'm not sure what you mean, but sounds good. Whatever for, okay. Nails and glitter. He makes white moderates so incredibly uncomfortable, it's worth sitting back and watching y'all lose your shit. There we go. Thank you for your honesty, Nails and glitter. That's why we have her here. She keeps it real. David, let's choose a side and go forward because that's what they do. Trump, David, explain more. I think I know what you mean, but I'm not sure. Nails and glitter. Trump, to y'all is the end of your belief structure and the realization that America is Trump. Welcome to America. It closes the cognitive dissonance gap because he truly talks about what we really kind of are. I hate to say it, because you see, we have him, so that kind of says it all. And people are being brought out and exposed because he says it's okay to be a sicko again. It's okay to be a sicko again. It's okay to be a sicko to your fellow human again. So people are like, yes. So, I mean, it really shows that people can stay quiet, but you got to change hearts. And changing hearts is going to be a lot more than just saying the word African American, saying the word black, saying the word Hebrew, saying the word Israelite. It's got to be learning the truth, delving into it, getting it, and finding a voice so that you can stand up and say, excuse me, that's not okay, and have a lot of people hear you. And that's we're a long ways from having white folks do that. We really are. Let me see. David, no offense to anyone, but you think that no offense at all. This is what we're here for. Bernie being Jewish is what turns people off. Personally, no. I'm not sure why, but no, I don't think that's it. I think for me, and everyone else obviously has to say what their take is. I think no, simply because he's been around so darn long. He's very kind of affable. I think what turned everyone off from him are two things. Tell me I'm wrong if I'm wrong. The first thing was saying the word socialist and not explaining it well, and equating it to Norway, Sweden, and all that. And the second thing is when he said no to reparations. I think a lot of people were like, what the, and he gave no explanation, gave nothing, just dropped it there. I think people were like dumbfounded. And I think that's those two things. I am clearly not a politician, and I'm not even an analyst, and I'm not good at it, but that's, from what I see, those two were jaw-dropping to me. And I think he blew it. I think he's too honest. I mean, I don't mean too honest, but his honesty and him not having a plan and not really, he says yes to reparations for certain people, but not others. I think it really did him in. I hope it's not because he's Jewish, but, who knows? People are, the KKK's number one objective is hating on Jewish people. I thought it was hating on black people, but it's actually, I saw a documentary on the order. It's hating on race traitors like me. Yeah, I just want to be involved. It's hating on race traitors, then it's hating on Jewish people, and then it's hating on black people. But it doesn't necessarily mean that's what people do. I mean, but that's supposedly their charter, their original charter. So it's terrifying, very terrifying. Let me see. Nails and glitter. Let me get. David, no offense at all. That's what we're here for. Victoria says, hashtag say her name. Yep. David Biden kind of seems like he's playing the field. He's very Republican for a Democrat. Yeah. That's why. Yeah, it seems like it to me too, a little bit. Like he's Gary. David, it's part of it. They always critique him as a Jewish socialist. I just don't like him or Biden. Both have helped produce the conditions that brought about Trump. Yeah, I mean, great points, Gary. Love your perspective. David, Nails, are you on Twitter? Like the way you think. Isn't she awesome? She is so no nonsense. Nope, I'm an anti-social mediaist, but yet she's here. Thank you so much for being here. David, you have to be on the good side or the other side. Yeah, there's no neutral. I think Victoria, I'm not sure most white folks even know what reparations are. Thank you, Victoria. Yes, thank you. They don't. I mean, they might now, but I have talked to people about this. I'm going to do some camera stuff where I just take my little camera and interview people. And I promise you, whenever I work with white folks that are like beginners, because that's kind of what I do, you won't take what you think they know. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to be real and multiply it what they don't know by 1,000, and you might be getting close. I have had people say things to me like I can't even get into it. I'll be talking a mile a minute. Just the depth of lack of historical knowledge is unbelievable. And if you don't know what really happened in history and happened to history 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, yesterday, and also 100 years ago, you don't have a historical perspective about why the problems we have today are happening. If you don't know about redlining, if you don't know about sundown towns, if you don't know all these things, if you don't know the stuff that happened after emancipation, then you don't know your real racial history. So your opinion is very, very ahistorical, and so it's kind of just an opinion. Let me see here. I agree with Phil about starting a plan and leaving the establishment. When we're gone, these pricks in blue will target their own and whoever else is left. Mental slavery is the worst kind, and it's a fact. And yeah, you know what, Dark Messiah, I don't blame anyone who wants to do that. I mean, okay, I'll just be real here. I want to leave. I'm white. I'm white as ghost. I'm like one of the whitest white people because I don't tan and all that. I do a little bit, but I want to leave. It's not what I planned on. This is not what I planned on, and I probably will, to be completely honest, at some point, because a number of reasons. But I won't stop doing this. But I'm not going to stay. If certain things happen, I'm not staying. I've already planned. But and I hope I can do it. And I'm privileged that I can maybe get away with it. I think most people probably don't have a damn choice, and it's horrible. I can't imagine what people feel like. If I feel this way, it's insane. I don't blame people one bit if they wanted to, and I love Phil's work. I've been looking into his stuff more and more. When I first did an interview with him, I had seen like maybe 5 full episodes of his shows. I hadn't seen a ton, only like 5, but I need to see way more. And so now I follow him much closer. Let me see. Take the comments. Yeah, I definitely, that's why I talk about white moderates not getting the depth of the pain of what this does. I have friends that I feel it every time I talk to them, and they tell me these things. And it is, as I say, it's a crime against humanity. Is what it is. It's a crime. It's an ongoing crime against humanity. Systemic racism is. And I know a lot of people, oh, the drama. No, that's how I feel, and I'm going to say it out loud. Systemic racism in America today is a crime against humanity. And it's disgusting. And what it does to people's mental, physical, just everything. I could go on and on. Let me see here. Sorry, it keeps scrolling. Dave, reparations will never happen. Just stop killing people of color, and we are humans too. Right. I don't think reparations is going to happen in a very long time. The reason I say that is simply because I work with the white folks mostly, obviously, because I don't have any place working with people who aren't white. That's out of my lane, not my business, not my place. Totally no. I do not teach Black people. I do not teach African American people. They teach me. I learn from them. And I do this show because I know that we need as many white people as possible showing other white people that you got to learn to talk about racism. Okay? Otherwise, you're part of the problem. There's no neutral. You got to learn to talk about racism. You got to get comfortable with it so that when it comes your way, you can jump in and say no to the white people. I will not stand here and do nothing while you disparage my fellow humans. No. White people need to teach other white people, and we can't do that unless we know stuff. So, white folks, it's a lifelong venture. It's not a hobby. It's a lifestyle. Once you get into it and you see what's really going on, you will not want to stop because it's so different than what we've been taught in school. Different from what your parents said, your grandparents. We've been lied to. Okay, and we've fallen for it, and it's our responsibility to pull our asses out of where and sorry, I'm going on and on. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, stop. I will stop. Stop. Reparations, the only reason I think that's not going to happen very soon is simply because so many people we don't even admit what we've done. We don't even have to, still, if you take a survey today, half of white adults in America think we're in a post-racial era. That's insane. I mean, we are so uneducated. We don't even know what the word reparations mean. We don't know what it is. We're not even, most white folks think that race is real. Like there are huge biological differences between people. They don't understand what melanin is. They don't understand what activated melanin is. They don't know what a human construct is. Oh my God, listen to me ranting. So, I mean, I've worked with these people for years, and there's an abundance of them, and they truly don't know it. And when they get taught, it takes a long learning curve to because it's like telling you that you're an alien. You know, when you didn't know there were other planets, it's like mind equals blown because it's everything they've learned is a lie, and it's really tough. David, reparations will never happen. Just stop. Right. I mean, we have cures to stopping police. A lot of white folks think, oh, we just don't know how to make the police stop. Yes, we do. We absolutely freaking do. I've done a number of videos on it, just me, and just my little old videos, you know? I mean, I know professionals have done tons of videos. There are absolutely tons of stuff we can do. We just don't want to as a society, because if we wanted to, we'd have used them. There are model cities where they've gone from, you know, here to 0 killings. It doesn't have to happen. We allow police to kill on purpose. It's absolutely purposeful. We don't train them to do anything otherwise. I mean, that's to put it lightly, but if you watch my one video on 15 ways we can stop murdering our own citizens, we just don't want to. And I say we, proverbial we, because white folks are still generally in power here. And not all white folks, but, you know, most white folks. Okay. And I'm not going to get into the privilege thing because there's so many different privileges, but we are, you know, ask Trump, he'll tell you. But anyway, I am blabbing again. We Democrats are sometimes too nice, David's saying. We have to be like Greta Thunberg. She's a badass bitch with all the due respect. Yeah, no, she says it like it is. Being moderate is a lovely thing, but it will not dismantle racism. And I promise you, if being nice I would be really nice, because I really want to help my brothers and sisters who do not deserve to have to live in this total bullshit of a system where to get equity, they have to work doubly as hard and be doubly as good. And it's not right. You shouldn't have to be like that. You should be able to, your life matters because you're you, not because you're the best person at, it's not right. It's just all about equity. Okay. God, I like to talk. Okay. Let me see here. Dark Messiah. I don't mean to sound offensive, but I'm tired of seeing the abuse from these slave catchers and I don't know that word. Polytrictions. I don't know what that word, but I think it's like a bad word for police maybe. But I know. Yeah. And it's completely unnecessary. You think people don't do bad things in other countries? I don't want to get into it. It's a whole other video, but we allow it to happen because we have a crappy culture that we let it happen because we believe in all this propaganda. We don't want to educate ourselves because thinking hurts, and because our nation was founded on white supremacy, and we just can't let it go. We just can't. I don't get it. As I said with Phil pointed out, white people in general in America have a very sick relationship with white supremacy, and I don't get why, but it's true. So it's, you don't even want to know what I think. Black history isn't taught. Absolutely. It's not taught, and the truth isn't taught. And David, I'm sorry, but socialism isn't bad. I'll break my back for you if you need help. Me, David, me too. High five. Boom. Paw five. Absolutely. I say paw five. Paw five. Boop. Meow. Absolutely. I would gladly pay whatever it takes to see my fellow citizens get health care. I will gladly do whatever it takes to make sure they get education. I don't want my neighbor to die of something that they could live from, because if they didn't, if they got help, I don't want to see that. I don't want my kids to see it. I'm a humanist. I don't want that. I don't think that giving this is the argument against universal health care that Republicans make, and it's like almost laughable. It'll be a disincentive to stay healthy. What? How about being in agony is a disincentive to come on? No one wants to be unhealthy. It hurts. They'll say. I mean, that's just there's no argument to be made for allowing your fellow human to die of something curable because you are too selfish to care about your fellow human. So, oh my gosh, I could not agree more. I did a video on that too, and I named for the video. I named like a bazillion like social programs we already have and have had for years. Dave, are you a rep? Nope, unaffiliated. And I'm assuming with I would say ADOS or yeah, okay. I think that's what you're talking about. Woman, please start a podcast. Oh, me? We have to talk because I do like to talk, but I don't really know. Okay, you're gonna laugh. I don't really know what a podcast is exactly. It's just like talking, kind of. Or maybe she's talking about nails and glitter, which I would love if she did. I love this country, but it hurts. It doesn't love me. Not to get sentimental, David. You're not getting sentimental. You're being real. Yep. Sick, and that's why I do what I do because I can't. I do it for me. I don't do it as I'm some savior. I'm not some white savior. I'm not some hero. I don't want my pick. I'm not even on Facebook really anymore. I do it for me because I can't stand the lie. I can't stand this liberty and justice for all bullshit when we all know that's not how it works and we have no intention of letting it work that way. And it's not everybody, but it's enough of us. It's enough of us that here we are. Yet here we are. I love this country. Nails, as history has taught us, you have to choose a side. This country is designed for the rich. David, I wonder if white folks know what stop and frisk means. Oh, well, no, most of them have no clue, but it's the most sick. I will start crying. I just, yeah, that. It's like living in a police state where you have a monitor on you. I can't even get into it. I don't even want to. It's the sickest thing ever. It's unforgivable. Absolutely unforgivable. It's just my very white privileged opinion. Some things are unforgivable. Not a lot, but some things are unforgivable. Let me see. I hit the bottom. Politicians equal politicians. Basically, politicians lie, deceive, and that's why I always just the word politics means you're kind of going to lie or something. That's why I don't like politics. Thanks for explaining that, Dark Messiah. I appreciate it. David, because Bernie will bring change. Yeah. The Dems won't let Bernie in. They really won't. And it makes me think, okay, you guys don't think I'm getting like crazy on you. It makes me think they're freaking evil. Because if we look at other countries, we are losing. And it's not we're losing to them, we're losing to us. You know how many people die in America because we have a for-profit system of healthcare? For profit. We profit off of people's pain and misery. We have a for-profit prison. That's inhumane. It's unthinkable. It's I'm sorry, I don't want to be in a country that has those kind of values, and that's why I want to yell a lot, but nobody cares. Too many people either struggling with their own life to make ends meet, or just really don't give a shit about their fellow human, or maybe just don't realize that freedom's not free. I don't know. I don't get it. I see you guys are having a good conversation. I don't get it. So I admit it. Hate me for it if you want, but I have a problem with white moderates because they are fooling themselves. And once you tell yourself you're done learning and you want to make nice to something that's not nice, you cannot make nice to racism. It's not a nice thing. It's an ugly thing. And making nice means that you see another side. There is no other side to systemic racism. It's sick, it's fucked up, and it's wrong. And you're either trying to dismantle it or you're supporting it. That's my take, and I'm sticking to it. Nails and glitter. I'm a millennial, and I voted since I was 18. Nothing changes. Victoria, disaster, capitalism, and greed. Yes, capitalism, unchecked corporations are not people. Define white moderate. To me, David, tell all your friends to do the same. Nevada is pretty woke. That's why Bernie won a lot here. Victoria, define white moderate. A white moderate is kind of a cliche term. I don't really know the exact parameters, but it's basically like a person who's being kind of a fake liberal in my mind. Now, a lot of people will disagree with me. I'm not going by any textbook, any university, any academic definitions, but I find white and the word moderate in the same sentence to not work. If you're a white moderate on social issues, that means that you kind of want to make nice with the other side. In my mind, it's just my take. And the problem is, some things don't have two sides. Like my fellow humans, human and civil rights. No, there aren't two sides to it. I'm sorry. I will agree to disagree over and over again, but not with that. Absolutely not. I don't have that right. I don't have that. I don't have that place. I don't have that right, and I won't do it. I will not debate a Trump supporter about equity for Black Americans. No, there's no debate. I mean, what am I going to say? You're an asshole? You're an evil human being? What am I going to say? Just put him down. There's nothing I can say. It's not a debatable issue for me. And that's why I call white moderates. I do not individually say, oh, you're an evil person. No, I don't know that. I don't have the right to do that. But as a whole, when I hear white moderate, I hear somebody who doesn't understand the urgency. There is nothing moderate about people being gunned down by police for existing. There is nothing moderate about a Black person leaving their home knowing this could be the last time they see their kid just because of their skin tone. There's nothing moderate. It doesn't work for me. I hope I'm explaining it right. It just doesn't work. It doesn't make sense. Let me see here. I don't know if that defined it or helped. Capitalism with a side order of racism to keep masses divided. Yes, Neil. Yes. Wolfgang Felix. NASDAQ futures limited down. Crude cashes after Trump announces EU travel ban. Yeah. At this point, part of my problem is I am so sick of our society being capitalism on steroids. It was never meant to be a lifestyle. It's supposed to be part of our economy with checks and balances. It's gone mad. I'm thinking about a lemonade stand. When I was little, people could really say, you could be an entrepreneur and have a lemonade stand, and maybe someday you grow up and I don't see many lemonade stands out. And I know that sounds silly because I think, oh, well, people just don't do them. No, but you know what? That dream is not available for a lot of people. And I'm talking economic privilege right now. Oh, you're so funny. Very funny. But yeah, did Z. That was very funny. Let me see. Let me see. So it's hard for me to even think in terms of money. And that's easy for me to say. It's probably my privilege talking of some sort of privilege, either economic or white or something. But I could give a what about the stock market right now when people are dying because we have a president who decided that he doesn't believe in science. It's like terrifying. So, Mills and blah, 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 blah. I don't want to skip anybody. But thank you for the update. I think it's important to get updates. MLK used it to refer to a moderate voter, meaning in the middle of the conservative and liberals, not party specific. Right. And when they fought over that, the argument, those two, I don't know if you saw that on Roland Martin, Nails and Glitter, but it got really ugly. And I really think Chris Cuomo did not do a great job with that. Letitia, hello. People are profiting off people dying and their pain. Absolutely. Absolutely. We've lost our humanity. And I don't know if we ever really had it. But if we did have it, we got to find it again because I don't see this thing going well. We don't have true liberalism anymore. The Dems shifted right, trying to chase the Republican voters. Yeah, it's confusing. I don't know much about politics, but David, Democratic reps just do the right thing. Yeah. See, right now we don't have for the people, of the people, by the people, because if it was, we'd have common sense gun laws. If it was, we'd have systemic racism being dismantled before our eyes. We're not running our government. Corporations and tons of money are. I can't watch Roland every day. Yeah, I don't watch him every day either. But I know a lot of people have, like Sean King, everyone's got their opinion on him. And, I just kind of listen to all of it and try to take it in. David, thank you so much. You're wonderful. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate your input. Amazing input. And so positive and great. Great questions, great comments. So let me just get back to, I hope I see you at the next one. This whole thing, my whole thing about the white moderates is they need to dig deeper. These women who go to the marches and then invite everyone back to the place except not the black people because they don't really have any black friends or because they don't know what it's. No, you have to dig deeper. White folks, keep pushing yourself to be uncomfortable. It won't kill you, but systemic racism does kill. And so our comfort isn't more important than the death of our fellow humans and the maiming of our fellow humans. And if nothing else, just the pain of our fellow humans. We won't die feeling a little tension and, like we don't, but they will. And the urgency is there. And if you don't feel the urgency, then you don't know enough. Okay. And yes, I sound arrogant and all-knowing, but I am saying this from the heart. If you don't have urgency about systemic racism in America, then you don't know enough about it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to put you down. I'm just saying point blank, you don't know enough about it. Because when you learn enough about it, you're like, oh my God, it's some sick shit. So anyway, I don't want to blab on and on, but I will. So white moderates are a subset in my mind of people who hold up the status quo. Because the word moderate does not go with the urgency. Moderate means Negauze. Interesting. Death means nothing to these Wall Street bettors. At the end of the day, they value their own equity over. Yeah, absolutely. Our nation was not ever supposed to be a nation that lived this lifestyle of capitalism. It's supposed to be an economic plan, not a lifestyle. our capitalism's gone mad. Capitalism over humans, money over people. You guys, we have a health system that's for profit. For the love of God, that's sick. Okay? We have a prison system that is for profit, profiting. These people need help. They are the most vulnerable people on the planet. But instead of helping them, we make money off of them and make sure their life is a living hell. People who are sick, people who have mental illness, people who just have a medical condition. This is not being good people. This is being bad people. And I don't think anyone would argue that. I mean, I don't know. I don't even think it's a close call. But so white moderates, I'm telling you, they don't understand the brutality and the fear that systemic racism causes. They don't understand that some of my friends have to go out every day wondering if they're going to come back, having done nothing wrong but existed. And it's a giant cloud over their head. It's not right. It's not fair. And white folks need to hear this. And if you don't get this, then you got to study more if you're white. You got to learn more and understand. This is urgent, right? And nobody needs a religion to know wrong from right. Absolutely. You know in your heart. You know what's right. It just, if you're willing to delve in. And for white folks, we got to drop our egos at the door and make it. It's not about us. And that's a very hard thing to do because we are pushed into like, what is right? What is right? But making white people feel comfortable is a lovely idea, but not at the expense of people who are being harmed. Will survive. They might not. And I mean that. And people don't get that. And I could just go on, and I kind of do. The thing is, there's no sides to the issue of systemic racism. There's one side. Make it stop. Dismantle it. There's no other side. That's why people like want me to debate people. And I always say, what am I going to say? You're a jackass? I mean, you're an inhumane person? I mean, what would I debate? There's nothing to debate. You are not acting human. I don't know. So I'm not debating anybody. There's no sides. There's no debate. There's simply, you either uphold white supremacy or you try to dismantle it and help dismantle it. And it just doesn't seem to be in the white moderates' agenda. And that's upsetting. I don't know what else to say. The justice system, I mean, we're a wreck, people. It's like bringing what did I say? What I made this ridiculous analogy. It's like bringing a cup of tea that you took a few sips to a fire and saying, I'm here to help. No, a cup of tea isn't going to put out the fire. We're going to need a little more than that. It's like we just don't get it. So I don't see how somebody like Biden is gonna do much. I hope to hell I'm wrong. I love being wrong about things like this. I don't want to be right. But anyway, I'm blabbing. I have a ton more to say, but I think I want to read some more comments, and I want to know what you think. And I wanted to, I'll probably save this for next week. The Nathan Wood's death, they killed him. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm talking about the man who's on death row, who was put to death by the state of Alabama. And I have a ton to say about that. I might just do a video, not keep everybody up all night. I was made ill thinking of this. I am absolutely opposed to the death penalty, murdering, state-sanctioned murder under any circumstance. So come at me and fight me. 4% of people who are murdered by the state are found to be innocent post-mortem. Need I say more? How racist is the system? Seriously, need I say more? But you know I will. So I could go on. I could just blab forever. And you know I could. Nobody needs a religion, right? Nails and glitter, otherwise known as the establishment, the status quo. Robson, thank you for chiming in. The U.S. took too long to react to the virus. Absolutely. Here in Brazil, yay, you're from Brazil. That's awesome. We're just starting to get the virus, but it looks like we're going the same way. Unfortunately, the World Health Organization didn't help either. Oh, I am so sorry about that. We had our president our president's known what's going on forever. You know how close his ties are with China and his following. He loves dictators. He didn't want to do anything. He pretended it wasn't. I mean, I could go on, but I really hope for Brazil. That's crazy. I blame Trump and his clan of we don't believe in science. Well, how convenient for you. It's like maybe we do, and we're the constituents, but I guess that doesn't matter. I'm thinking of all the elderly people who are going to die prematurely, all because Trump doesn't believe in science. He's a sicko. I don't even know what to say. Negos. Biden is senile. The DNC is on a suicide mission if they're to choose him as the nomination. I think they are choosing him. So yeah, Trump will rip him to pieces. Trump's MO has always been ad hominem attack, and Biden is the most vulnerable. I was talking to my husband saying he's going to be like a deer in headlights. He really, really, really is going to be a deer in freaking headlights because I don't see him as being with it. I think. I mean, I don't know. I think Trump's going to win. And I don't think this nation's going to take another 4 years. I don't think it's going to take another minute. Great comments, Robson. Thank you for telling us. And Negos, I agree 100%. Orange Man will rip Biden. Yep, Letitia. Dark Messiah, what do you think of social anarchism? Like, would it work? Are you talking about, like, are you talking to me or maybe people on there? If you're talking about basically trying to redo, tell me more of what you mean. I think I know what you mean by that. I'm not familiar with that term in the sense of in academia, so I'm not sure if you mean it as a general term or if it's an academic term. I'm going to wait till you define it for me. I don't know what it's going to need to come to end systemic racism or dismantle it. I don't know, but I don't know how long a people wait. Is it a week? Is it a year? Is it a month? Is it a decade, a century? Just to have equity, not more than everybody else, just equity. I think we got some issues that are just not going to be solved in this country by anything but some very extreme things. Somebody got in trouble. So Nathan Wood's death really hit me. Anybody who is possibly innocent, anybody who is murdered by the state is a subjective thing, and even more so for a black man or a black woman. This is sick shit. Do you think of how many people have been put to death that we know were innocent? It's unfreaking conscionable. And Alabama killed him anyway. You know, when you kill someone, you find out post-mortem that they were not guilty. I know with him, it was a judgment call, I suppose. It's too fucking late, you know? I mean, do people not get that? I just, I'm not talking to people. People don't seem to get that. My God. They're playing God. Something more. Oh, goodness. No, thanks. Let me see. Like in South Africa, she's just saying. I wanted to just add one more. The last thing for tonight I had, and if anyone wants to bring up anything, Alabama had to postpone a vote on a bill that would protect the history and culture of white supremacy after a black senator, and God he did it, pulled out a noose to remind the GOP lawmakers that what they were defending, basically. No different than any other time in American history. Welcome to the real world with the condescending Hun added. Thank you. Yeah, I'm an idealist. I know. Can't help it. It's my privilege. I'm an idealist. I truly believe that humans can do better. You know? So shoot me. Oh, well, don't, but I'm just saying. Yeah. Very funny. BRSC. Oh my gosh. I can't read it. But thank you for your comment. And yeah, I know. I'm an idealist. I'm an idealist. I can't help it. I know it shows. I have been an idealist since I was 6 years old. It's a long time. I'm not that young. So Alabama wants to pass a law. You know, they're the ones who just killed this guy, this man, executed him, had a little stay, gave us a little hope, and then did him in. Let me see, Letitia, you got in trouble. Okay. Letitia, thank God America and white nation are losing power so brown and black people can take over the world, so they are so much better. I know you feel that way, and it makes me sad that you feel that way, because that's what basically white supremacy has done to you. But I think it's too late. I think that's a lovely idea to hold on to hope, but I think it's too late for this nation. Personally, I hope it's not. I have this pre-concept that racism will only end when the idea of races is put aside. I've heard that many times before. That's a very academic ideology. We are all the human race. When this idea spreads, there'll be more racism, consequently more racism. Part of the problem is most people don't know what a human construct is, let alone the human construct of being afforded to the idea of race. People don't get it. We're all on a continuum. We're all the same race. They don't get that. That's one of the first things I teach white folks, and it's like mind equals blown. Usually takes like a week to have them like kind of like get it, and it's a big concept. Dawn, I'm a rampant idealist. Yay! Let rude pessimists go away and keep being. Thank you. I believe in us. I don't know why. It's like crazy. I believe in my fellow humans that we can do better than this. We have to do better than this. So yeah, Dawn, you totally get it. I can tell. Let me go back. Industrial Revolution and its consequences have surely been a disaster for society. Propaganda engineers are smarter than they have ever been. Yes, they are. And we need to be learning about this stuff, but we're not. We need to be learning about Russia has involved themselves in 27 different elections all over the world. I mean, involved themselves. 27 since 20. We've been following it since like 2000. I don't know, 4. I'm not sure, but like a long time. This is not news. Our FBI, our people have been following this. And so when Trump started saying, I don't know what you're talking about, I was just laughing my ass off going, turn around to the FBI guy right behind you or whatever. Turn around to the person behind you and, say it to his face. I mean, he's completely lying. The propaganda, they are propaganda king and queens or dictators, the Russians. And we're learning all about it. So Robson, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's kind of how I thought at first too. But then it's not happening fast enough. That's part of the problem. But yeah, no, Letitia, just like Brazil, it's an amazing country. Hopefully America can be like it in 50 years. Interesting. Nils Glitter, white America would need to acknowledge slavery first. Thank you. That's part of the problem. We won't even acknowledge anything. We're like kings and queens of denial. And it's pathetic. We won't acknowledge our crimes. We literally, and like I say, I use an analogy, trigger warning. This analogy can upset people if you've ever had any sexual type violence around you. But to me, so I'm giving you a trigger warning to plug your ears or go for a minute. I'll be 2 seconds. It's like having your spouse smack you in the face and say, forgive me for the abuse. We're still doing it. We won't admit to what we're doing still. And we sure as hell won't admit to our past. So really not good. Thank you, Nelson Glitter, for yeah. Unfortunately, Robson, there are so many institutions ingrained within our state that are founded in these race discrepancies. The education system, for example, everything. Like Obama said, it's in the air. So, and if we had some sort of top-down, comprehensive pre-K through 12th grade, not once a week, I'm talking every single day, so we could undo the socialization and the indoctrination of white supremacy. I definitely could see it happening, people catching on, but that's not going to happen. The powers that be don't want to let that happen. They're wealthy, they're benefiting from this. And like the first video that's right on my opening page, it talks about white people, we've been fooled generation after generation into working for the white elites for free and going against our brothers and sisters who are black, brown, and indigenous and thinking we don't have a common plight with them, which we do. It's that Lyndon B. Johnson thing again. I'm not going to say it. Let me see. Dawn agrees with you, Nails Glitter. Miha, I knew, Letitia, you were going to say that. I just knew you were going to say that. Teachers in primary schools are cycled around until they find homes within low-income districts. These districts ultimately lose accreditation and feed the poverty cycle. Yeah, I taught in Compton Unified for a number of years, and when I left, not that I left, but when I left the next year, they were taken over by the state government. Oh my gosh, the shit that was going down there was horrible. Our school systems and how they're funded in general is so racist. It's beyond human belief. It's not good. I was there during the LA riots, and talk about, oh my goodness, what a crazy, crazy time. Let me see, Dark Messiah. If we remove capitalism with anarchism, how would life be like? It's about individual freedom, social equity, and the word is also new to me, so there could be more to it. Yeah, it depends what you mean by social anarchism. I mean, it sounds like going against the government. I don't know. I'd like personally to believe we can do something within the rules, but I don't know if that's possible. I'm an idealist. In other words, insane. But yeah, these are good things to talk about. I know people who would love to talk about those kind of things in the sense that from a very academic standpoint, but I don't know enough about it to really talk about it. I mean, I think what you're asking is, do you think that a war could do something, or well, we kind of are at war right now. I believe our country is so divided that we cannot remain a country. Personally, I think we're going to. I didn't think I'd be alive for this, but I think we're seeing we're watching it in real time. It's my sad feeling. I hope I'm not right. Letitia, we should give tax incentives for people to have non-white kids. There's an idea. A lot of white people would be raising non-white kids. Well, yeah, I think, well, I have a lot to say about that, but anyway, I'm going to wrap it up for tonight. You guys are amazing. Thank you for being here. If you support my channel, I'd appreciate it. Watch videos. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. That's my biggest goal. When I do a video, I want to know what you think. I have 2 people now who have told me what, as black people or as brown people or as African American people, they have told me what they want in this video I'm making, top 10, what black people want you to know as white people. I have 2 things. One has to do with hair. The other one has to do with, oh my God, I'm blanking. I'm like, I wrote it down. It's something good. I'm not thinking about it right now. What did he say? He gave me something so good. I feel like an idiot, but sometimes I blank on things when I'm really tired. But I want to know. Thank God you guys write this down. If you are a Black person, African American person, Indigenous person, you too qualify to. If you want to say something, if you want a top 10, tell me what you want people to know. Because who cares what I want people to know? I want to know what you want people to know. So let me take a couple more comments, and I really am going to go. Anarchism requires you have involvement in building your own community, right? Yeah, I mean, yeah. Okay, Letitia, can you make a list since you're an idealist of the 10 things you would do if everyone did what you say? Give a list of things. Oh, yes, I could. Oh, yes, I could. If you're talking to me, yes, because you don't tell white people what to actually do. I don't tell white people what to do. I want white people educated. They got to do it themselves. I can't do anything for them. Like, I can't make anyone do anything. They have to want to do it. And to educate themselves is to open up the world to them. It is in our best interest as white people. I don't care how racist you are. Okay, whatever you're at on the continuum, it is still, unless you're a gazillionaire, it is in our best interest to stop systemic racism. It is not good for us. We just don't know it. And I don't tell them what to do, but if you watch my videos, I do very much tell them what to do. I tell them what best practices that I've learned from the people who live it. So, yes, I know, don't touch Black people's hair. Yes, thank you, Nails and Glitter. Yes, it's kind of a big one. But, yeah, it's not, oh, God, I could tell you stories I've heard. Okay, yeah. Let me see. Robson, we are the institutions, each one of us, people believe that you have to adapt the system to get in power. That is exactly what the people in power want us to believe. Yeah, this is tough stuff. It's gotten very sophisticated. Metzius Moldbug's idea for a patchwork state is beautiful. We can send the racists away and live peacefully with distributed wealth and see those whose quality of life improves. Very cute. Letitia, I mean, 10 things like actual policies. You can talk about being better, being educated all day, but it doesn't mean anything. What actual policies would you implement? 10 things. I can't name 10 things right off the bat because I have more than 10. But first of all, I put in a comprehensive mandatory 1 hour every single day of anti-racism, anti-bigotry in pre-K through 12th grade, and the people will be trained. There's your first one. To work against what the lies and the system and the complete BS of whitewashed history. That's one thing. Does that count? I definitely do that. Because see, this stuff is teachable over time, which means, like Jane Elliott says, if you can teach it, you can unteach it. And as a teacher, former teacher, still a teacher, I absolutely believe that. My next policy, oh my God, I'm on a rampage. My next policy would be federalizing the education camps for whites. No, it would be in school. There would be no education camps. It would be in school, like a regular class from preschool on, developmentally correct, at the right age. If parents can teach this and society can teach this, then the teachers can unteach it. That would start with major teacher training. Can I name just one thing? Absolutely. That's an awesome one. Thank you. I'll take that. Thank you. I'm absolutely serious. Yeah. I mean, yeah, don't be a jackass to your fellow humans. It's like, you'd think it'd be kind of obvious, but yeah, no, that's a good one. I'll take that one. But yeah, that's one of the first things is comprehensive, absolute training for every single solitary teacher. You cannot become a teacher in public school unless you make it through and are constantly dedicated to this topic. And we'd have specialists, not the teacher teaching it, specialists come in who know what they're talking about. and there'd be I mean, I could design it right now. I mean, I won't be designing it. I'd have a person who lives it design it, but I'm thinking in my head all these ways we connect it. And then the police. We have solutions to all these things. We just don't want to use them. A lot of folks think, oh, we just don't know how. Yeah, we do. We know how to solve these. The powers that be don't want them solved, and it's unbelievably pathetic. But yeah, I'll make a list. Do you want me to really want me to make a list? I can. I want my first 5 videos. Probably have it in there. A lot of my videos have stuff that people need to do. Simple things like learn the top 30 classic cliche denials of racism, how to debunk them, and then practice doing it, so that when you do hit that in society, you're not like and find your voice. So I mean, I'm an idealist. I have tons of ideas. They're very ideal ideas. But anyway, so the last thing I had was that Alabama has postponed a bill giving extra punishment for people who dare to harm statues glorifying racist pieces of shit. I know how else to put it. I don't have to be professional. Yeah, that. So I'm putting a video up on my channel that this guy made. It's really good. So keep the suggestions coming. I can't thank you enough for being here. You guys did amazing tonight. People, white folks, when they read over this and see this, they're going to learn from you. And I cannot thank you enough, because that's what this is about. So if you believe in what I'm doing, please watch the shows, watch the videos. I guess press the little thing you have to press, like the thumbs up gives you extra. It gets my videos to other white people who I wouldn't necessarily be able to get to. The actual YouTube will push my stuff to be seen by more people, the more people who see it. It's kind of a weird thing, but I don't really know much about it. But thank you for being here. You guys made my night. Don't be a stranger if you want to say hi, even though I'm kicked off of Facebook forever and always. I kind of snuck in the back door of one of my pages. It's still kind of running, called Angry Soccer Mom. And you can private message me if you want to, okay? And say hi. I would love it. All right. And I will say good night to everybody. And please don't be a stranger. Your voice matters. I want to hear what you say. Okay? Good night, everybody. Thank you. All right. Thank you to everybody here. And then I will say good night. Thank you so much for being here. Sorry I laughed so much during Trump's little speech, but I don't really know what he said. You guys are awesome. And I hope I'm wrong on everything. Good night, everybody.